Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be opening my last Marvel Superheroes Play Booster box and seeing what I can get. Like usual, any card over $2 will show up on screen. But yeah, there are quite a few good mythics that I could get. Hopefully it could be like my last Play Booster box and end up pulling a Mind Stone, which has come down quite a bit in price, but it's still worth quite a bit, so yeah. And I will be talking about some of the new Hobbit cards that have been shown off. Just some of the cards in general. I don't think every card's been revealed. Usually by this point I feel like every card is usually revealed for the new set, but I don't think they revealed everything for this set, so at least not yet. So talk about that, some of those cards, while opening up the magic. So let's just get into it. I guess to start off with, I have yet to order a collector box for Hobbit. I did end up buying 3 play boosters, which might be the only stuff that I buy. Got the Spider-Man from the scene. I do want to get a collector box, and hopefully I can find one for cheaper than what most places are trying to sell them for, because I don't really want to spend $700 on one, or $600. So got Namor the Submariner. Definitely not a terrible mythic, so pretty good way to start off this box. Won't complain about that. So yeah. But there's definitely a lot of cool things that you can get, because every play booster and collector box has a box topper. So play boosters were still a price I didn't really want to pay on play boosters, but factoring in the box topper, I guess the price is fine. Granted, there are several box toppers that are kind of big misses that you definitely don't want to pull, because one of the cards they have is Reprieve, which is not a bad card. It's just been reprinted a billion times and not worth much, so pulling that in your box topper will feel pretty bad, especially when the other box toppers they have are like the One Ring and Orcus Bowmasters, stuff like that. We got Super Scroll, pretty cool rare. But yeah, when you can get the One Ring or Orcish Bowmasters, or the Plantier of Orthanc, or just some of the other cards that are quite a bit better, pulling Reprieve will feel pretty bad. But it is what it is. The artwork is still really good for all the box topper cards, so won't complain about that. But we got the Superhero, Civil War. And then they have these really cool Dorvish text cards. I guess I'll put one up on screen to show off what they look like. But one of the cards in there is Mox Amber, which is a very good card. So definitely would love to see that, but the Dwarven language cards only come from collector boxes, so if I don't get one, then I definitely don't have a chance of getting one, but who knows. Got Loki, God of Mischief. Not too sure if his normal art is over $2. I know his borderless is, so. But yeah, so there's some pretty good cards there as well, but there's also other cards that aren't very good either, so yeah. I feel like that's how it is for everything. You got good cards, but then you also have some not so good cards, or at least that are worth anything. We got Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. But other than that, some of the new mechanics for the set, they They brought back gifting again. So gifting is a mechanic that was in Bloomborough, which essentially there was gift a card or gift a tap fish, and essentially if you gave one of your opponents said thing, then you'd get some kind of bonus on the card or extra effect, or allows you to bounce something else. There we go. We got another decent mythic. We got Mjolnir, Hammer of Thor. Pretty cool mythic. I don't think I've pulled this one yet. So it's 4 mana. When it enters, it deals 4 damage to up to 1 target creature. Not terrible. But it has it to where double all damage equipped creature would deal. And it has equip worthy for 1 mana, and a creature is worthy if it's red and or white, and it's not a villain. So there's definitely a lot of magic villains that can wield Thor's hammer, but they don't have the villain tag, so they're fine. But you can also pay 3 and discard it to deal 2 damage to each creature, so it can be kind of a mini board wipe for anybody running tokens. And it pairs really well with Thor, because Thor will be able to bring Mjolnir back from the graveyard, so I think that's kind of what they were trying to go for, but still really good even without Thor. But anyway, like I was saying, they brought back gifting because one of the first cards is Bilbo's Gambit, which costs 2 mana, and you have to gift a treasure, so you give opponent a treasure token. Which, yeah, that not terrible, but I mean, giving your opponent a treasure is pretty good, and it's not tapped. So Avengers Tower from the scene. We got Heroic Feast is a rare, but essentially the card has it to where you return a target spell to its owner's hand, and then if the gift was promised, players can't cast spells this turn. So I guess nobody can cast spells, so I don't know. Somebody that's better at Magic will have to tell me if that's really worth it, because it says players can't cast spells, so you can't even cast spells anymore. So I guess it is an instant, so yeah, I guess that can be pretty good. Never mind. We got Construct a Cosmic Cube as a rare. I guess it'd have to be an instant to return target spell to its owner's hand. And then we got World War Hulk. Pretty cool. I know the borderless version is over $2. Not too sure what the normal is. So yeah, I take back what I was saying. The spell does seem pretty decent. But they have another new mechanic called Recruit, which is kind of like Conniving. But instead of a +1/+1 counter, if you discard a non-land card, you create a 1/1 human soldier. A white 1/1 human soldier. So that's pretty cool. Instead of Conniving, it's 1/1 creatures instead of 1/1 counters. So got the Astonishing Ant-Man. And then we got Armor Wars. Pretty good for artifact decks. Then we got Human Torch, Johnny Storm, and Foil from the scene. I will, at the end of the video, show off the scenes, because I have everything for the Fantastic Four one and for the Daredevil one, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, it'll take me a few seconds because I gotta go through all my cards, but try to put it together pretty quickly. I might edit that part out and just show you the finished product, but yeah. We got another mythic here. We got Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Pretty cool mythic. Not one of the best ones, but still pretty cool. Still a mythic. So then there's obviously like kicker returning and stuff like that. A card that I think is an interesting card is called Roads Go Ever On. It's a white spell that costs 2 mana. You search your library for 2 basic playing cards. You exile them and then shuffle. You gain 2 life. And then you put a card exiled with that saga into its owner's hand, so you on the next stage of the saga, you'll put the land into your hand, and then on stage 3, you'll do the same thing again. And then whenever you attack this, for the 4th one, it says whenever you attack this turn, target creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each planes you control. So, I think it's just an interesting version of kind of. It's not really even ramp. It's just making sure that you get your land drops. So I think it's pretty cool. We got the Kingpin of Crime. So that's just a cool rare. I thought was pretty cool. And then they do have scenes in this set as well. And then they also have a really cool, like, what's it called? Dragon Horde frame cards that have like dragon scales on the sides of it. So it looks pretty cool. I'll show up an example now. But and they also have the Surge Foil returning as well, which Surge Foil will also only be from collector packs. So got Leader, Super Genius. There's the Galactus token. I was wrong. The Galactus token is not nearly as expensive as it was at one point. Yeah, then there's just a lot of cool cards from the box toppers. There's a lot of cards that are good and some that are whatever. And there's a really cool Bilbo, the Mythic Bilbo. It's blue, Bilbo Thief in the Night. He's 2 mana blue, and spells you cast from anywhere other than your hand cost 1 less to cast. Well, we got our source material card, and it's not one of the best ones. It's not a very good one to get. Cool to get. Already got one of these, but yeah. So this one's pretty disappointing compared to the last one I got. So yeah, there's not much there, but oh well. It's a lot of misses, but like I've said, there was plenty of good source material cards in this set, and then we got the shield flying cards are rare. Unfortunately, I didn't really get any of them besides the Sword of Fire and Ice in my last play booster. So, oh well. A lot of good cards, and they managed to evade me every single time. I have a feeling that's going to happen with Hobbit as well, but oh well, maybe not. Got Scientist Supreme of Aim. Anyway, yeah, so he has it to where spells you cast from anywhere other than your hand cost 1 less to cast, and then whenever he attacks, you may cast an artifact, instant, or sorcery spell from your graveyard. If it's instant or sorcery spell cast this way, you put it into your graveyard. Instead of your graveyard, you exile it instead. What am I saying? And then Elrond is also pretty cool. 3 mana blue creature. Whenever you activate an ability of a creature, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. So he's an elf. So if you are playing blue in your elf decks, literally anytime you tap your one of your elves, you get to draw a card. It's only once per turn, but still pretty good. We got Thanos, the Mad Titan, another mythic. Not too sure if the normal artwork version is worth much. It's probably a decent amount, so pretty cool. Another cool mythic. So yeah, and then he's got another ability, but it's won't talk about every single thing on every single card. Obviously, there's even more cards in the set that care about landfall. There's literally a card in the set that is essentially the exact same thing as this. It's just a little bit different. But this very first landfall ability is like the exact same of whenever land you control enters, you put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, and it's 2 mana. So they've printed a lot of versions of that. I think there's been like 3 or 4 of them that has been printed that do the exact same thing. We got Castle Doom, it's a rare. We got Fin Fang Foom, it's a foil rare. Anyway, there's the Lord of the Eagles. That's a rare that seems not too bad for anybody who also plays blue. It's a 9 mana, 8/8 with flash, but it costs X less to cast, where X is the total power of creatures you control with flying. So you could make it just cost 2 blue mana, and it has flash and flying. So definitely does not seem terrible. Got Ares, God of War. Not saying it's insane, but it is definitely pretty cool. And then obviously they have the really cool like book cover cards. I'll put up one of them on screen now as well. Then those aren't just collector boosters, so you can get them in play boosters, so that's pretty cool. I didn't realize that, so yeah. And they look really good, so got the Mr. Fantastic from the scene. Then we got the Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, one of the best rares in the set. So finally have a rare to put up top. Let's see. They also have Amass Goblins. So kind of like in the Lord of the Rings set, they had Amass Orcs, but this time they're doing it with Goblins. So essentially with how Amass works is whatever the creature does, whenever it says Amass X or amasses a Goblins, you create a 0/0 Goblin army, and then you put +1/+1 counters for every time it amasses. So yeah, cool stuff. Got another mythic. We got Kang the Conqueror. I think one of the worst mythics you could get in the set. Pretty cool, but not really what you want to see in the mythics. I think I'll move Thanos over because I think Thanos might be worth something, but so they have Amassing back. Then they have a mythic for Gollum. I don't think it's very good, so I'm not going to talk about it here. I just feel like it's pretty lackluster for a mythic. Then another card a lot of people, or at least some people, seem to be think will probably be pretty good. We got Daredevil, Man Without Fear. Is the Master of Lake Town. It's a black card that's 3 mana. It has Death Touch, and whenever a player loses life, that player mills that many cards. So we have, in fact, seen that effect before on some other cards. I can't recall what they are. Mind Crank, I think. It's an artifact that does the same thing. We got one of the lands. We got Gleaming Bastion. Pretty cool. All the lands are worth a little bit of something, so I'll put them up top. Maybe not all the non-foil, non-borderless ones, but I'll still put it up top because it's decent. We got the Winter Soldier as the assassin as well. And then he also has it to where when he dies, you draw a card for each graveyard with 7 or more cards in it. So could be good in Commander. Well, seems like it would be good in Commander. So another card that I think is pretty cool is the Supper for Spiders. It's 2 mana, also black. But put onto the battlefield under your control all creature cards in your opponent's graveyard that were put there this turn, and then they are food artifacts. Yeah, so essentially you get all the creatures that were put there into your opponent's graveyard that turn. You get to put them onto your battlefield, but they're all foods. So you won't be able to attack with them, but you'll still get any Inner's abilities or any static abilities on them, so pretty cool. We got Doctor Doom, another not terrible mythic, pretty cool. So yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, like I was saying, they have Orcish Bowmaster's reprint that comes from box toppers, and I assume they also come out of collector packs. Yeah, you get the surge foil ones in collector packs. The box toppers won't have surge foils, but yeah. Then there's the Desolation of Smog, which is pretty good for anybody who likes playing dragons. It deals 3 damage to each non-dragon creature. Then you add 4 mana in any combination of colors, and then you spend that only to cast dragon spells. So if you like dragons, there's definitely a lot of cool dragons or dragon cards in this set. Got Agent Phil Coulson, is a rare. Then Avengers Under Siege. There's a Mythic Gandalf, seems pretty cool. There's a Saga that's 3 mana in red that has 4 modes on it, or like, you know, needs 4 lore counters before it's gone. But essentially it has it to where you create a treasure token, and then if you control 4 more treasures, you sacrifice the Saga and create a 6/6 red dragon with flying token. So pretty cool. We got worlds within worlds. So you don't even have to get through all phases. If you already have 4 treasures, you can literally get it done on the first phase. So, and then the headliner card for the set is in fact Smaug, the Magnificent. I'll put up what the headliner card looks like in a normal version so that you can in fact read what he does. But I will say it's 4 mana, red. He has flying haste, and whenever he attacks, he deals damage equal to the number of treasures you control to any target. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, create a treasure token. So pretty cool. We got the Sentry, Golden Guardian. And then, yeah, he is the headliner card, so there's the really cool headliner version that I'll put up on screen. Oh, another card that I want to talk about was the Last Light of Durin's Day. It's a 2 mana red enchantment that whenever a mountain you control enters, put a quest counter on it. And if it has 6 or more quest counters on it, you sacrifice it. If you do, search your hand and library for a dragon card. So that means you could get a dragon from your hand in your library for a dragon card and put it onto the battlefield. If you search your library this way, shuffle. I don't know why. And then it also has mountain cycling for 2. So pretty cool. Allowing you to tutor up any dragon and just put it onto the battlefield. Got Training Compound, another one of the rare lands. We got another mythic. Got Multiversal Incursion, another one of the not so great mythics. Oh well. So that's pretty cool. They also have a Call Forth the Tempest reprint in the box toppers as well. So that's cool. Let's see. Also another mythic, this time in green, Bjorn the Fierce. He's 5 mana for a 6/6 that has Trample. Quicksilver. It has Trample. Other bears you control get +2/+2. And then at the beginning of combat on your turn, put a trample counter on up to 1 target creature you control. It becomes a bear in addition to its other types. Then if you control 3 or more bears, you draw 2 cards. So it seems pretty cool. Good for green, like usual. I feel like green's always getting good cards. Another card that they have that seems pretty cool. It's cost a lot, but it is in green, and green loves to ramp, so it's not like it's that hard for them to get a lot of mana. But it has it to where it's 8 mana, and you look at the top 20 cards of your library, put any number of land cards from among them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. You gain 8 life. So landfall decks will definitely want that, because you could get a lot of lands. We got the Abomination from the scene. We got the Ruinous Wrecking Crew. Then we did get a foil logo card. Unfortunately, it's not one of the best ones you can get, but still pretty cool. We got Winter Soldier, Icy Assassin in the logo foil. So put it up top. Not one of the best, but still cool to see. There's also Delighted Halfling from the box topper as well. Guess I forgot how many multicolors there are, and I'm only down to 1 pack, but go over some of them. They got Bard, King of Dale. He's 6 mana, blue and white, and he has Reach and Vigilance. So he can, in fact, block Smaug profitably and kill Smaug, and he will live. So at least the mythic version. So that's pretty cool, because he's a 3/5 and Smaug is a 4/3. So that's pretty cool, like flavor-wise. We got the Scarlet Witch in her scene artwork, or the logo artwork. Put it up top because I think that's over $2 for that version. Yeah, so he has Vigilance and Reach, and if you were to draw a card, except the first one you draw in each of your draw steps, draw 2 instead. So any other time you would draw a card, you draw 2 cards instead. So, and that's not limited to once per turn, so seems pretty good. And then if one or more tokens would be created under your control, twice that many tokens are created instead. So if it wasn't good from that ability, it's even better if you create tokens. So yeah. Another card I think is pretty cool is the 3 Trolls, the Tom, Bert, and William. But has it to where they're 5 mana, green and black, for a 5/5 that has pay 1, sacrifice another creature. Draw cards equal to the sacrifice's creature's power, then discard a card. And then when they die, if they were a creature, return them to the battlefield. They're an artifact. So just pretty cool, with also flavor-wise with when they turn to stone from the sun. So I love that. I think it's pretty cool, because you could just sacrifice them, draw 5, and then discard a card. But then they'll come back as an artifact, and you'll still have that ability to be able to sacrifice things. You won't be able to sacrifice them anymore, but still pretty cool. Got the Scarlet Witch in the normal artwork. Then Wolverine, Fierce Fighter. Pretty cool. Yeah. And then let's see. What else? So that was the last pack. But I guess there's also Thranduil, the Elven King. I think that's how you pronounce his name, not too sure, but he's 5 mana, 2 generic, and then black, green, and blue. He has all activated abilities of all elf cards in your graveyard, and whenever another legendary elf you control enters, draw 2 cards and discard a card. So yeah, there's plenty of things he can go infinite with by just having certain elves in your graveyard. So pretty cool. There's also the Smaug that's from the scene, which is also pretty cool. That's 7 mana, black and red, from the scene box that you can buy separately. It has flying, indestructible, and haste for an 8/7. And then when Smaug is dealt non-combat damage, you create that many treasure tokens. So another card that can go infinite pretty easily. Artifact-wise, got some cool mythics. They got the Arkenstone, which is a 5 mana mythic, but also has an adventure, because they do have adventures in this set as well. I guess another thing I didn't talk about was, I think, Storied. Essentially, it's kind of like they're historic. It's not historic exactly, but it's still all the same things that historic does. So anytime you cast I think a legendary creature, enchantment. I don't think it's... I'm trying to find one because they haven't really showed off many cards that have that mechanic, and I can't remember which one it is. Yeah, but like artifact, I think legendary creature, and then enchantment entering. If you have 3 in any combination, they don't have to be all. They don't have to be each of those. They can be 3 in any combination. You essentially get storied, and makes it to where you can never get rid of it, and it's just like the city's blessing. So once you get it, you have it, and there's no way to lose it. So pretty cool. There it is. Yeah, if you control 3 or more artifacts, creatures, and/or sagas, then you have storied for the rest of the game. You have an enduring story. So yeah, pretty cool. Anyway, the Arkenstone essentially has the adventure to pay 2 and a white, search your library for a legendary creature card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle. And then the normal part is creatures you control get +1/+1, and at the beginning of your end step, draw a card. Pretty cool. Yep. Like I was saying, there's the One Ring reprint and Plantier of Orthanc and box toppers. So, and they have some pretty cool borderless lands. They have like all the special lands from, I think, the Lord of the Rings have been put into box toppers. So they got Minas Morgul. I think that one was from the scene, if I'm not mistaken. And they have Minas Tirith, then Mount Doom, Rivendell, and the Shire. So pretty cool. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I hope I can find a collector box for cheaper somewhere. Hopefully some of the game store close to me will have them in stock and not mark them up ridiculously. So hopefully I'll be able to get one. Not too sure yet, but I will have play boosters, so there is that. So yeah, I think that's enough on Hobbit for now. Yeah, so anyway, this box is not very good, I don't think. There's some cool cards in it. I'm not gonna complain. There are some cool mythics that I did get. Mjolnir, Namor, and Thanos, and Doctor Doom aren't terrible. The other 3 are whatever. That is 7 mythics in total, so that is quite a few for a play booster box. And then Sundering Growth from the bonus sheet, which is nothing to really talk about. They get 2 of the rare lands, and then only really 2 of the decent rare cards, with the Unbeatable Squirrel Girl and the Scarlet Witch and the Borderless. The Winter Soldier might be, since it's in foil, but I doubt it. So yeah, this box was nowhere near as good as my last play booster box, because my last play booster box did in fact have a Mind Stone in it and Sword of Fire and Ice, so that one was pretty good. This one was whatever, but yeah. Now I will probably cut the video to a point where I have the scene cards that, or for the scenes that I have completed, I'll just show them up, and then I'll just do the whole outro thing. So yeah, so, summarize, I don't think this box was very good. Anyway, yeah, I'm back now. So these are the scenes. Turns out I didn't have the Kingpin one. I will, in editing, put the Kingpin card right here, so it looks like I do have it, but I didn't get it. But these are what they look like. So pretty cool. I do think all the scenes put together are pretty cool. I do have a binder that I think I'll be putting at least most of the scene cards together with, so yeah. Anyway, yeah, so If you're looking forward to the Hobbit set, consider subscribing because I will be opening play booster boxes at least. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like. But other than that, thanks for watching and hope to see you next time.